everybody, this is the Cuisinart DCC-3200 coffee maker. I bought this a year and 4 months ago. I thought it would be time to get to reviewing it, let you know what I think about it. I got this particular model because I had a DCC-1100 that lasted me 8 years, so I figured why not stick with the same brand. I wanted something more similar but newer, and this is it. Some of the important specs on this are that it's programmable, it brews 14 cups, it has a temperature selector for the hot plate. Those were the main reasons why I bought it. My DCC-1100 really proved itself, so I kind of stick with what I know. And build quality, it's got a little bit of weight to it. It probably weighs about maybe 3 or 4 pounds. The machine itself is plastic with a stainless wrap around it. I believe this particular model comes in white plastic and black plastic. This is obviously the black plastic one. It's real stainless. I got a magnet here. It sticks. It feels pretty good. It's more solid than one of those $15 Walmart specials, but not nearly as heavy and built like a tank like one of those Breville ones that cost 400 bucks. Ease of use. I didn't read the instructions on this, and they're long gone, otherwise I'd go through them with you. I was able to figure it out on my own in about 5 minutes. If you have any experience with other Cuisinart models, these are pretty much the same. They all do the same thing. But I was able to figure it out. If you have a smartphone, you'll be able to figure this out. It's not complicated. Performance, this machine makes excellent coffee. I have no complaints. It takes about 7 minutes or so, I guess, for a full pot. I never really timed it, so it's really not that big of a deal to me anyway. If 7 minutes of waiting is just gonna wreck my whole day, then I got bigger problems to worry about. The program feature has worked flawless. It's worked perfect every time I've used it. One of my favorite features of this machine is the temperature control. It might take me 6 or 7 hours to drink an entire pot, but that temperature control, when you set it to low, you can leave it on for hours and hours and it keeps your coffee from turning into asphalt. The machine will beep when it's done. You can turn that part on or off. Speaking of that beep, it's supposed to beep 5 times when it's done, and when it turns off it does 2 long beeps. And I can't tell if it's just me tuning it out or maybe bumping the off button inadvertently, but sometimes it seems like it doesn't always beep. Maybe I just don't notice it, who knows. The machine does take these filters, and you know what? I quit using it. Honestly, I don't really think it does anything. Let's take a look inside. I don't know if you can see that. It's like loose charcoal, like fish tank stuff. I quit using this thing a long time ago, and I haven't noticed a single difference in how my coffee tastes, so I really don't know if this is doing anything or not. So try it out, but I'm not going to waste my money on it. I did notice, however, that once I took it out of the machine brewed like twice as fast. So if that makes a difference to you, by all means, go for it. One of the other issues that I've noticed, and it's just one of those weird oddities, is sometimes I'll fill this up to 12 cups. I'll put 12 cups in it, and I only get 10 cups back. So it's going somewhere. I don't know where. I know that, you know, you'll have a little bit of steam loss with it, but not that much. Quality. It's a great machine. I like it a lot. It's well constructed. It looks nice. It's easy to clean. It's easy to use. And it does what it's supposed to do, and it does it well. There's really not much more to say on that. As far as reliability goes, my use on coffee makers is what I consider to be hard use. I use it multiple times a day, leave it on for hours and hours. I turn it off, turn it back on multiple times, probably 6 or 7 times a day. The heating and cooling part of it is absolute hell on electronics. And I did the same thing to my DCC-1100, and it lasted me 8 years. So I have pretty high hopes for this. More like high expectations that this machine will perform the same or better. So far so good. I have had no issues. Along the issue of customer service, I have not used customer service, but I do want to touch on it a little bit. I've noticed a ton of complaints on other reviews about customer service being just absolutely horrible, and I've also seen a ton of them that said they're absolutely mind-blowing awesome, so I don't know who to believe. They're total crapshoot, but I haven't had to use them, so if I ever do, I'll let you know, but so far I haven't. Alright, to give you an idea of how I use this thing, I'm going to show you what I do every single day. Some of you might say that's a lot. but I say you can never have too many coffee beans. In case you're wondering about this grinder, this is a Krups F203, and no, it's not a burr grinder, so, you know, whatever. This grinder is 15 years old. I kid you not. My mom has one of these that's 25 years old. The same model. Krups has been making the same thing for ever since I can remember. These things are awesome, man. It's only like $20. You can use it for coffee, spices, whatever you want. I can feel you coffee snobs out there starting to hyperventilate right about now. I noticed some reviews where people were complaining about this noise that it's making, talking about that it was scaring them and stuff, so just beware in case you're one of those people. Alright, all done. This is what I put my machine through no less than twice a day, 365 days a year. So to me, it's a testament to the machine's durability and performance. And if you're one of those people that are like, what? It's not a burr grinder or tap water. Well, everybody's got their own way of making coffee. I get it. You know, you use a blade grinder, burr grinder, filtered water, tap water. Who cares? This is my way. If you don't like it, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Don't worry about what I'm doing. You just worry about what you're doing. You know what? Just go get a paper bag, breathe into it for a little while. You'll be just fine. As far as the long-term durability of these machines, I want to talk about a couple of weak points that might come into play. The electronics and water don't mix, obviously. And with every pot I make, it's kind of cleared off right now, but the front of this machine steams up. It steams up these buttons and the display and everything, and that can't be good for the long term. My DCC-1100 did not do that. It had like the control panel was inset a little bit more, so it kind of redirected the flow of steam away from the front. This one doesn't. It steams up the whole front with condensation, and eventually that's going to sink in and wreck stuff. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the hot plate is already starting to wear a little bit, and this happened really badly on my 1100, so bad that it was starting to rust. And it looks like this one's headed for the same fate, which I'm not too happy about. One major annoyance that I, like many others, have encountered is water spilling all over the place. And some people complain that this carafe leaks, and it very well may for some people, but not for me. I think it's more of a carafe design. It causes the water when you fill the machine, and it doesn't do this with coffee when it's hot. I can't figure it out why it doesn't do it. But when you're filling it with cold water with this carafe, it kind of wicks its way up underneath and spills all over the counter. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to clean it up. But it does that every time I fill it with this carafe, which is why I filled it with the tap water. If you're one of those people that's lucky enough to have one of these things close by your coffee maker, use it. Maybe it's because I'm pouring it slower into my coffee cup. Who knows? So what problems have I had with it? Absolutely none, really, nothing. I have had no problems with this machine at all. I did look at some other reviewers, and the overwhelming majority of the negative reviews talk about a plastic smell or taste coming out of the machine that transfers into the coffee. And I did not encounter this problem. I mean, when the machine was new, the directions tell you you're supposed to run a few pots of water through it to get any of the remnants of the manufacturing process out of there. And if you didn't do that, then it'll stay until you do. So, you know, I haven't had that problem. I can't speak on it. I would suggest maybe putting a drop of soap in the water that you run through just to break that surface tension, so whatever floats won't float anymore. It'll sink and run its way through. All I did was I ran about 10 pots of regular water through it before I started to make coffee with it, and I have not had any problem. Another reviewer, which kind of caught my eye because it was hilarious, was on Amazon. This guy says it has 3 significant flaws to this machine. His significant flaws are the carafe is dainty and chips and breaks easily, and the replacement's only available in black. Yeah, it's only available in black, but it's no more or less dainty than any carafe you're going to buy unless you get the thermos kind that's made out of stainless. The inner plastic lid ring around the carafe, I guess he's talking about right here. The inner plastic ring of the carafe collects debris, which makes it impractical to wash in a dishwasher. We end up having to wash it by hand. Oh no, the humanity. Oh, God, this is so hard. This is ridiculous. No human being should have to put up with this. I mean, what do you do when it's time to take a shower, dude? You got somebody that does that for you? He says the roof of the device collects coffee grounds that splatter and drain into the fresh water when the reservoir is lifted. Sometimes I get that, where there will be a little bit of like mud right around here, but it's the same stuff. I mean, what do you think? It's what you just made. It's the same thing that you just made. Really? Whatever, man. You need to get out of the house more often if those are your big complaints. So here are my only gripes on this machine, and pay attention, Cuisinart, because I'm going to tell you how to make a better machine. The front needs some sort of vent under this part to redirect that steam elsewhere besides the front of the machine, because it's going to ruin the electronics eventually. Like a lip or a vent. Secondly, redesign this carafe lip so people can fill it without spilling it all over the place. And lastly, reconsider the coating that you're putting on the hot plate, because whatever you're using, it just absolutely sucks. I mean, maybe get in touch with that company that makes those copper colored non-stick pans, you know, the ones that shows the lady beating eggs right in the pan and it doesn't scratch. You know, try that. Price ranges currently on Amazon, this thing is right around the $80 mark. In store, I found they're much more expensive. I think I recently saw one at Kohl's for $126 or something. So definitely order it online and track your prices if you're looking at Amazon. Even on Amazon today, I looked, and there's one is $80.07. The next one after that is $69.95, and the one after that is $110. Definitely pay attention to your pricing. Like I said before in another video, track your prices. Put this in a wish list and watch it for a couple weeks, and the price will fluctuate wildly, and you can catch a good deal on it. End of the day, it's a great machine. It's well worth it if you can find it for the right price, right around, like I said, that $80 mark. I don't think it's worth any more than that. That price, to me, is perfect for what you get. And this machine has endured over a year of my hard use thus far, and I expect it will last for many more years. Enough talking. Let's get down to business. Cheers. Thanks for watching.